Hey up, it's Steve, the old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to another audio commentary. I'm enjoying doing these, so I'm going to do a lot of them. I might even try and do them for each of my shows. So this week, we're doing an audio commentary for the Valley of Gwangi, or is it just Valley of Gwangi? I can't actually remember. Let me look at the box. I think it's just Valley of Gwangi, isn't it? Oh no, it is the Valley of Gwangi. Whatever. We'll find out in a minute when I press play, won't we? And the title comes on. Anyway, The Valley of Gwangi, one of my favourite films of all time. It's the one Cowboys and Dinosaurs from 1969, a Ray Harryhausen production along with Charles H. Schneer. It came after, I'm trying to think now. It came after 1 million years BC and before The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And it was a bit of a flop at the time of its release because I think during that period, I think Warner Brothers went through some changes, I think, and they didn't have confidence in the movie for some bizarre reason. So they didn't publicise it very well. So it was a bit of a flop at the time. I remember, though, the first time it was on TV in the UK, which would be in the early 70s. I remember seeing an advert for it on telly, and I always remember the fella going, Gwangi, when you see Gwangi. And I thought, I've got to see this film, because I didn't see it at the cinema. I was too young. But I did see it on TV. And now I've got it on Blu-ray and DVD. The Blu-ray is not great, I've got to be honest, but the DVD is better, to be honest. It really is. Anyway, so that's what we're watching. I'm waffling, aren't I? Why don't we just get on with the film? If you've got your own copy of it, you can rent or buy it on YouTube in the UK. You can. It's available on Amazon Prime as well. I think to rent or buy again. It doesn't cost the earth. That's it. Oh, it's available on Blu-ray and DVD. I'm watching the DVD at the moment. So I've got that. I've got it ready to go. It's on 4 seconds. You can see the Warner Brothers logo. So if you catch up, press play when I press play, you'll be round about where I'm up to. If you want to watch along with me, or you could just listen to me waffling on. I'm actually organised this time. I've got me whatchamacallit, my tablet with the IMDb page for interesting bits of trivia about it. I've also watched a little documentary that's on the DVD about it. So right, off we go. So here goes. I'm going to press play. I'm going to do a countdown from 5, and then I'll press play. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Right, we're off. Hopefully you can't hear it, and I'll get into trouble. I've got it really lowered down. It's on like 1. Yeah, it's on 1. Right, so we begin. This wasn't filmed in Mexico. It's supposed to be set in Mexico at the turn of the century, apparently. The last century, the 20th century. 1900, 1901, whatever. And it's supposed to be set in Mexico, but actually filmed in Spain, in places like Almeria and Andalusia and other places. And it's technically a British film, even though it was paid for by American company Warner Brothers. But it's got a British director, lots of British actors in it, and Spanish actors, and American and a couple of an American actor and an Israeli actress. But anyway, so here we go. We see what's his face? Carlos, played by Gustavo Rojo. Who is dubbed. A few of the actors and actresses in this are dubbed. Well, at least 2 that I know of. He's dubbed by an actor called Robert Rietti or Wrighty. I don't know. I've never heard of him. But also the actress Hila Golan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. You'll find that she's overdubbed as well, but don't know by whom. Anyway, so here, this is Carlos's brother. And he's got something in that bag. I think it's like a little dog or something. I'm not sure. In real life, we find out that it's a little prehistoric horse, an Eohippus. That's what we're going to find out. He's brought it from the Forbidden Valley. And I always said, whenever I play Red Dead Redemption, the first one, the part where you go into Mexico, there's a part of it that looks just like the Forbidden Valley, with like a rock. A rock formation, like an arch, It just reminds. We'll see it in a bit. I always said they should have done a DLC. But anyway, here's Frida Jackson, who plays the old witch. I don't know. They say I call her a witch, gypsy woman. What's she called? Tears Arena. Tears Arena. So Dame Frida Jackson, who I think would appear. I think she also appeared in Clash of the Titans as one of the Stygian witches. I think. I could be wrong, but I think she did. And here we go. We get Jerome Moss's music. Great score. It is a great score. But apparently he's reused some of his old music from like westerns and the Big Valley and stuff like that. So I don't know. But I love the music for this film. There's James Franciscus, who I think a year after this would be in, I think it was after this, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Anyway, so we're looking at the credits. Lawrence Naismith, who you may know from other Ray Harryhausen films, or another Ray Harryhausen film. He was in Jason and the Argonauts. He played Argo, the ship builder, didn't he? And we've got to keep talking because I don't want the music to come over the microphone. I've got I've got it as low as I can have it for me to be able to hear it. It's on 1, but it still sounds quite loud. Filmed in Dynamation. Apparently, this was the last time that Dynamation would be used. After with this, it would be called Dynarama. Why they changed it, I have no idea. But anyway, and it was also the first Ray Harryhausen film to be given a G certificate. Because they changed in America they changed the rating system. But anywho, there we go. Associate producer, creator of visual effects, Ray Harryhausen. As usual, he probably did it more or less all by himself. He did for most of his films, apart from Clash of the Titans. He had help with that. Based on a script and a story that was being developed by Willis O'Brien, who, if you remember, was Ray Harryhausen's. Ray Harryhausen was his protege, wasn't he? Back in the day, Ray Harryhausen, famously as a 13-year-old boy, went to see King Kong, and the film, with the effects by Willis O'Brien, it changed his life. But obviously, Ray Harryhausen would improve upon Willis O'Brien's techniques, and exceeded the talent, I suppose you could say, of his master or whatever. Anyway, so here comes the circus. It's a Wild West show heading into town. I don't think we ever learned the name of the town. I could be wrong, but it's supposed to be in Mexico, just south of the Rio Grande. So it's somewhere in Mexico, in northern Mexico. Anyway, here we are. But lots of Spanish actors. As I said, this is in Spain somewhere. But gonna lasso me dude. What's it? There's James Franciscus, the businessman cowboy. Howdy, ma'am. Anyway, and here's Curtis Arden. Were they trying to make him a big star? I don't know, because they had at the end they have like introducing Curtis Arden and all that, and give him his own little. I don't know, but I've never seen him in anything else. But anywho, he plays Lope, a little kid who's in business for himself and can get anything apparently. And 5 more for the saddle. I've seen this film so many times. Does that mean that Tuck Kirby's a millionaire? Probably not. He's just joking. Here's the Wild West show. I think we learned that a lot of these are supposed to be, Mexican actors, Mexican cowboys. There are some Americans in it, but we hear a lot of them going, "Yes, si, senor," and all that stuff. But anyway, hope none of them get hit, run over by horses. Lots of people lying about on the ground, didn't there, with horses running about. Good stunts, I must admit, they are good stunts. I think one of these carriages gets set on fire. So this fella drops out and just lies in the middle of the thing and just hopes no horses trample him. He just curls up in a fetal position. Don't run over me. Smack. And the show's over. Someone cleared that arena, didn't they? This is Richard Carlson, who plays. I've forgotten his name now. He's like the father figure for T.J. Breckenridge, the Gila Golan character. So Bean and Rowdy. So here we're learning that they know him. So he's been around before. He's an old flame of TJ's. Used to be a boyfriend or whatever. But he left her and broke her heart. So he doesn't like him. I forgot the name of this character. Oh, Champ. There we go. Everybody's dad's dead in this. That's her tune. It's one of the few not great effect shots in this. But these were the days when you could cut them some slack, couldn't you? Because the technology was limited, wasn't it? It's not like today where you can just do anything with CG. Back then, they were limited by what were available. So it's fine, but it still looks a bit iffy. Anyway, there's Gila Golan, the beautiful Gila Golan. Another one who was dubbed. I think she had quite a strong Israeli accent. I don't know, I've never heard her speak, but I imagine her sounding a bit like Gal Gadot. But I could be wrong. But anyway. All my life I've called her Gila Girl, and I thought I'll look it up. And see how to pronounce her name. Apparently, it's Gila, like Gila monster, I suppose, which is a lizard. There's Carlos, look, pretending to be a Native American, although they'd call him an Indian in this, wouldn't they? Look, she's been put off by the appearance of Tuck. Look, the crowd are getting restless now. Hey, I thought you were supposed to do something. Right, here we go. Drum roll, please. When you're ready. When you're ready. And 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, don't want to do it. There's Omar, the Wonder Horse. There we go. Looks a bit poo, doesn't it? Looks a bit poo. But it's fine. It's only for a fraction of a second. There we go. Look. Jumped into that thing, did the horse. He leaped up there, didn't he? Gliding up like Brian Boitano. There she look. Yay! They're all happy because there's a wet lady there. So that's covered in blood, but it's actually, I think it's just the red tassels and stuff that are just stuck to her because of the water. Go give Omar an apple and a lump of sugar. Look, she's not happy to see him. By gum, she's shapely. I think I've read somewhere who dubbed TJ, and I can't. She's been before. They've used her voice before and other stuff, and I can't remember what it is. It doesn't say on IMDb. Unless I'm thinking of something else. Now watch how quickly she dries her hair. She must have some blow dryer behind that screen. That's an amazing towel. Look, her hair's perfectly dry now. I'm sure she's been in other films, but this is the only film I know I've seen her in. So. She soon changes her tune. Say that 3 times quickly. She's still in love with him. Look, back in the day when men and women could be in love on screen. Don't get me started. Anyway, we're going to meet the professor now. This is Lawrence Naismith. Professor Bromley's a paleontologist, and he's found um, a fossil with a hoof print of a Neohippus, and he thinks that they've been around, that humans have been around much longer, but we learned that there's still actually Neohippuses and dinosaurs still around today. Anyway. I feel sorry for this mule. Breaking its legs, watch it. Watch it when it walks off, this mule, or whatever it is. Its poor legs. Some of his legs didn't snap. There's a big fat Englishman on it. Look at his poor legs, look. Look at all this weight. There's Rosita, his mule. I don't know the difference. There's donkeys, asses, and mules, isn't there? And I don't know that which way what's going on. Is a mule a cross between a horse and a donkey? What's an ass then? Donkey and a mule? I don't know. Technically not true. Paleontologists look further back in time, don't necessarily dig deeper. I suppose you could say dig deeper back in time. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, as I was saying earlier on, just forgot that about Willis O'Brien. He originally were going to do this project, which I think was just called Gwangi. It wasn't called Valley of Gwangi. It was just called Gwangi. And it was going to be about cowboys rounding up dinosaurs and stuff like that. But I mean, it didn't get made, and I think he did some test footage, but that ended up being used in Mighty Joe Young. Not that there's any dinosaurs in Mighty Joe Young. Maybe they used it with the big gorilla and that, but it got used in that. And the film never happened. I mean, Willis O'Brien didn't really do a lot, to be honest. King Kong is his magnum opus, and he never really exceeded it. He did Black Scorpion. He did that one, but that not a lot in that. There was another one with a dinosaur in that didn't look very good, and I can't remember what it was. I've seen it quite recently as well, but I'm blanking. That's a Ray Harryhausen exceeded the achievements of his master. Why? We've learned, by the way, that Eohippuses, Eohippi, whatever you call them, don't have hooves, they have toes. I think 3 on the front feet and 4 on the back feet. I think it's that way around. Carlos is in love with TJ. Don't blame him, to be honest. But we see here how brave Carlos is. Carlos is they try and paint him as a baddie in this film, but he's really super brave. Keeps saving people. Like he's going to save Lopi now because Lopi's an idiot kid. Here he is, look. That bull reminds me of that Bugs Bunny cartoon. Have you seen that Bugs Bunny where he's going up against a bull? I'm sure all the bullfighting that TJ Breckenridge just showed us, all the bulls are alive at the end. But you could see there was actually an effect there, wasn't there? It was 2 separate shots. See, oh, that's a real bull. But here you come. Look, Carlos be super brave, saves the kid, and Tuck and gets himself run over by a bull, almost getting gored by a bull. And she don't give a rat's ass about him. Poor Carlos. I kind of feel sorry for him, to be honest. There we go. The other, what do they call them? Another, a bullfighter's a matador. There's others in there as well. Anyway, whatever. The bull wranglers get rid of it. But look, she's Case. They're all in love again now. Because of this, she's willing to sell up to him. She's going to sell to Buffalo Bill or something. Exactly, mate. Who wants to get married? Yeah, but she's saying here she's willing to sell him Omar, to Buffalo Bill, the Wonder Horse. But we find she's not bothered because she's got a new act. But we find out that the new act also features Omar. Unless she's going to train up another horse. I don't know. But anyway. Right. We're going to see El Diablo now. Don't know what they called him that for. But it means the devil, doesn't it? But never mind. A little teeny weeny horse. A Neohippus. There's his toes on its feet. It hasn't got hooves. And Ray Harryhausen said, well, kind of tricky to animate El Diablo because, it's a teeny tiny little horse, but to try and make it look like a horse and not like just a small animal, like a dog or whatever. So he had to make it basically just look like a miniature horse, animated with horse-like movements. But look, just the character he gives to his character's amazing. It's Humdinger. You notice he's got the key. Lock the door. Look, he's got the key, and I don't think he gives it back to her. He's realised. Look, he's showing Bromley. Hippus obviously means dawn horse, doesn't it? Hippus meaning horse. So why hippopotamus means river horse. See, look, they're both thinking of themselves. He wanted his knighthood and all that, and Tuck's thinking of how much money he can make. Not thinking of TJ or El Diablo. The only bad thing, really, that Carlos does in this film is he blames what happens next on Tuck Kirby when he knows it wasn't Tuck Kirby that happened, does what's about to happen. But he blames it on Tuck because he's obviously jealous, of Tuck and TJ. And we're going to see some gypsy women fighting like in From Russia with Love. No, we're not. The little fella, there he is next to Tia's arena. He's just billed as the dwarf. He's played by Jose Burgos, the dwarf. He comes to a sticky end later in the film. Right. So where the professor's going to do something dastardly, of which Tuck gets the blame from Carlos. As I said, the only bad thing that Carlos does in the film is blame Tuck for what's about to happen. Love. Help. Not free then, is it? The pay for it was on lemonade. See, they're going to take El Diablo back to the Forbidden Valley, and the professor's obviously going to follow them. And it's supposed to be the middle of the night, but yeah, it's brighter than daytime. Ooh. A wicked dwarf. Am I allowed to say that? Anyway. Oh, look, poor El Diablo's scared. There is a shot coming up in a few minutes We actually see El Diablo, and it's an actual animal, and I'm trying to remember what it is. I can't. I saw it on something. I can't remember. I thought it were on the documentary that's on this disc, but it isn't. It's either a dog or a goat. I think it might be a goat that they just make to look like El Diablo, but they use a real animal because you see a wide shot of El Diablo running across the landscape. Anyway, whatever. I'll point it out when we get to it. See, that's the only bad thing he does in this film. Blames Tuck for that because of his jealousy. But every other thing he does is like super brave, keeps saving people, particularly Lope. But anyway, the chase beginneth across the Spanish countryside. As I said, it's filmed in Spain, not Mexico. Amazing scenery, must admit. Don't ask me where in Spain it is. I don't know. Let's have a look. See if we can find out. Bear with me. Prime DB, you can look up filming locations, can't you? Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. What does it say? Desert scenes. It's in Andalusia, Cabo de Gata, Almeria, Andalusia, Spain. The desert scenes. Now she doesn't like Tuck again now, and because of Carlos, they think he's in league with the gypsies to steal El Diablo. Bit of elder abuse coming up now. Say that though, I wonder how old Lawrence Naismith is in this film. You find out in these old films, people that look like they're supposed to be playing old men, were not that old. I'm going to look that up as well now. Remember, this came out in 1969. I think we're actually filmed 1967. Um, right, Lawrence Naismith. How old was he at the time? Oh no, he was in his. Was he was 60. He was 60 because we were born in 1908, so we'll call it 60. So fair enough. We'll let that one stand. He's going to talk his way out of this now. Doesn't you, hippie? Or is it Eohippuses? It's going to waste loads of water now. What's this now? If I low people, hang on, it's supposed to be a mouthful, a sip. Never mind just pouring it all over yourself. That's 10 pesos. You greedy bugger. I haven't got any more. Right, here we go. I'm going to release. There it goes. And we're going to see a wide shot of an actual animal. Not that. And I think it's a goat, but I could be wrong. I can't remember what I saw it on. It's almost like a lost world. There we go. A pteranodon. I don't think they saw that. They just heard the noise. But Rosita's been got. Shoving his hand in all blood. Look. 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 Don't be touching it. You silly boy. There's blood and puddings all over the shop. Don't know if you heard that. Drinking me cold coffee. It's Kent Survival. Go follow him on YouTube. Just great videos. There's Andy. Kent Survival. This one has a bit of fortuitous thing with the horse. It happened to move its head like that, and I thought, oh, Ray Harryhausen thought, make it look as though it's looking at the Eohippus. Now, here we go. We're going to see the real animal, which I think is a goat, in a minute when they're chasing it. It's quick. Not that. 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 Told it were quick. I think it was a goat, but I'm not sure. Little one. Or it could have been a dog. I don't know, but they used a real animal, didn't they, just for that fraction of a second in that shot. It is fun, is this? I love this film. The music helps as well. Proper Western music, in my opinion. Look, it's goading them. Look, it's saying, "Follow me if you dare." Gone into the entrance to the Forbidden Valley. There it goes. The devil we have. Do you think it's John Wayne? I think Richard Carlson were in. What are it called now? It came from outer space. That 3D film from the 50s. That was Richard Carlson in that, wasn't it? That was a good film. That were a good, it were a B movie, but it were a good intelligent sci-fi because the aliens weren't baddies in it. They weren't trying to take over the world or anything. But anyway, good film is that. And there's been in loads of other stuff as well, but that just popped in my head. Ooh. Right, we're going to enter the Forbidden Valley. A lost world of sorts with matte paintings. I remember I saw it in a documentary. Ray Harryhausen liked these rock formations where these were filmed. I wish I could remember what I've seen it in. There we go. Nice matte painting there. Just reminds me of that part of Red Dead Redemption. Anyway, we're going to see his first dinosaur. A minute, a ornithomimus. As I used to think it was a plectostrich, which I always think that was the name of it, but it says plucked ostrich. It looks like a plucked ostrich. And I thought, that's a funny name, plectostrich. It's an ornithomimus. In a minute. Don't know where El Diablo's gone. We don't see El Diablo again. It's gone back to its family, I assume. That's these rock formations. They like these. I'm not sure what caused those. Is it water erosion? I'm not sure. Oh, here comes the. Oh, I forgot about this. The Pteranodon returns. Is it the same one that got Rosita? I don't know, but it gets hold of. Probably, maybe not, because it gets hold of Lopi. If it can carry off a donkey, it should easily carry off a young boy, but it seems to struggle. But, cool effects. There's obviously on a wire, isn't it? But erased. Little gremlin legs holding on to him. But look, Carlos is going to save him, look. Because Carlos is super brave, and I kind of feel sorry for him. I mean, even the actor got dubbed over. I don't wonder why. Did he ever? I wonder if he had a really thick Spanish accent or something. I don't know. Because he's been overdubbed with somebody doing a thick Spanish accent. I have no idea. Maybe he had a squeaky voice. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm going to cut now to a big puppet of a pteranodon. There we go. It's fine. It's fine. I think he calls it a pterodactyl, the professor. I could be wrong. It's not. It's a pteranodon, isn't it? I think this was made in the days when they thought that creatures like pteranodons and all that couldn't take off from the ground. They had to throw themselves off cliffs, but we know that's not true now. We know they could actually take off, couldn't they? Because I think they found a trail once, didn't they? Like in mud, fossilised trail of where it would have taken off. Its footprints and grooves left by its wings as it flapped its wings and then took off. There we go. There's the ornithomimus. It's a plectostrich. No, it's an ornithomimus. Here it goes. It's another effect that looks pretty cool, I must admit, when it's running, not that, when you get a wide shot. He's good at his wide shots and making them look realistic. There we go. I think that looks pretty cool. There's another one where it seems to speed up for a moment in the wide shot. Here we go. Here it goes. You ready? Speeds up right to that last bit. Oh! That's the scene that inspired Jurassic Park. You know, the T-Rex gets the Gallimimuses. That's Gwangi. Well, he's an Allosaurus in this. Actually, I don't think he's any sort of dinosaur. People call him an Allosaurus, but Ray Harryhausen said originally it was supposed to be a Tyrannosaurus, but he's used what he used in the Ceratosaurus. He's used his Ceratosaurus model that he used in 1 million BC, 1 million years BC. He used that, took the horn off its head and all that. So it's kind of a Alloceratotyrannosaurus. It's a mixture. It's Gwangi. Gwangi is his own thing. Gazing off at that 1,000-yard stare, aren't he? Gwangi is what I remember from that advert. There we go. Gwangi. Because I always thought it was Gwangi saying it. It's why they called him that. What am I like? I was only a kid. We waffling away. I forgot what did he call it, a pterodactyl, or did he call it a pteranodon? I can't remember. I think he called it a pterodactyl. I was waffling as usual, that's what I'm here for. Stop picking on me. Yes, go and hide. I would need new underpants. And here comes a Styracosaurus. Here it comes in a minute. There it is. Another which was reused from 1 million years BC. But was it a Triceratops in 1 million years BC? I think it might have been. Yep. You're not very stealthy, Professor. Just stay in there. Stay in there. Look, you've attracted his attention now, you dopey old bugger. Hope he hasn't got light. He has got light coloured trousers on, hasn't he? Alan Grant always said his favourite dinosaur was the Triceratops. But when I was a kid, I think for me the Styracosaurus trumped the Triceratops. That was until I saw a picture of a Deinonychus in a book, and then that became my favourite dinosaur. To this very day, it's like a velociraptor, but bigger. Terrible claw captured my imagination. I'm surprised, to be honest, they didn't include cavemen in this. You know, like they did in The Land That Time Forgot, which came out a few years after this, 1974, which I think was the first film I ever saw at the cinema. No, it wasn't. It was the second film I think I ever saw at the cinema. I remember my mum took me to see The Land That Time Forgot in 1974. But I think I'd been to the cinema before. My sister had taken me to see Mary Poppins. I don't remember it. I was too young. But the first one I remember going to see was The Land That Time Forgot. And that had cavemen in and dinosaurs. I'm surprised they didn't have cavemen in this. Ah, well, you know, let's have a punch up. And other people. Cockeyed female. I'm not saying anything. Isn't it here? That's his dialogue as he walked away mumbling. Cockeyed female. Apparently, this got a certificate, a 12 certificate in the 90s when it released on DVD originally. I think it was, or VHS or whatever. The censors misheard the F word. They thought somebody said an F word in it. I don't know where. And they give it a 12 certificate. And then I think later they realised their mistake and it were given a U certificate. Or a PG. Can't remember. Hang on, let me check. What does it say on here? A U certificate. Which is universal in the UK. It's like a G rating. Let's check me trivia notes, see if there's anything I can tell you. Let's have a look. Where are we? In 1971, Warner Brothers cleverly reissued this film in the USA on a double bill with When Dinosaurs Ruled the World, 1970. Didn't mean When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. Ironically, with a film with dinosaurs in it that Ray Harryhausen didn't do. It was Jim Danforth that did When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. Akita. That's what the cavemen say in that. This film was known as the Valley where time stood still during production. Anyway. Well, there is a comic book version of this that released it as a comic book, and it is actually available. I think if you just search for it on Google, I think you can find the whole comic book to read. As people have scanned it and it's on the internet. No, that's it. There's not a lot of trivia stuff to do with this. The sound that Gwangi makes is that of a camel and a raspberry run backwards. My raspberry, presume they mean that. And presume slowed down and the pitch and tempo changed. Yeah. That's about it. Right, Gwangi's going to come again now. A little homage to King Kong coming up. Anyway. That's clean water. They need some, what they call them, tablets that you put in to purify it. Oh, his horse is wary. Here he comes. There we go. I'm saying he. I'm guessing Gwangi's a he. I've no idea. Look, little scratch there. That's a nod to King Kong. The T-Rex did it in King Kong. So that's a nod to Willis O'Brien. Who remember who this was originally a Willis O'Brien feature, or it would have been. That were clever. I bet that's not James Franciscus. I don't think we see that pit again. Remember the pit that the professor fell in? Look, it's gone. They filled it in. They must have done. Maybe they didn't want any other professors falling in it. They just filled it in again. How did they dig it out? They must have shovels with them or something. I don't know. But anyway. There's also kind of another homage to King Kong, actually. It's a little bit like when that fella climbs up that tree to get away from the Brontosaurus. Similar to that. I'd be screaming my head off. And there's like cool effects. You've got the dinosaur with people in front of it, people behind it. All done without computers. It's basically, rear projection, essentially. But when the rope, there's a famous roping scene where they're trying to rope Gwangi. Where Gwangi is, there's actually a jeep with a big pole on it, and the rope in the pole. And I think they filmed it in, I don't know, 2 cameras or whatever, filming it, whatever. But and then he spliced them together, cut out the jeep, spliced them together, and stuck Gwangi over the top. And for each frame, when it shows the cowboys and the ropes at the same time, he's actually got a bit of wire coming from Gwangi that's going to be like the rope that's attached to Gwangi, and then he's got to seamlessly line it up with the rope from the real cowboys, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Was it me or did that cat him? Until it looks like Jeff Goldblum, doesn't he? Maybe it is. I don't think it is. Hey. Oh. Is that Bean or Rowdy? I don't know. I don't know which is which. Come on, champ. Has he picked up the rope? Yes, he has. But he did an amazing job at lining up those ropes with the wire coming from Gwangi. You can tell the difference. You can see the difference. There's a slightly different colouring, but he did an amazing job of lining up those tiny bits of thing. There we go. doing all this, and it's all going to be for naught because the Styracosaurus is going to arrive in a minute and put paid to their plans. They think they're going to catch him. Look, yeehaw! Going to rope me, Tyranna Serata thing. Here it comes. Look, it's coming for round 2. How would this valley? How big is this valley, by the way? And how is it keeping this population of dinosaurs going for millions of years? How many is there? There must be more than one Gwangi, more than one Styracosaurus, more than one Eohippus, more than one Pteranodon. One would think. I hope I'm still recording here. Yes, I am. Right. My phone keeps turning itself off and I keep having to switch it back on again. Because that's what I'm recording onto my phone. Technology, yeah. Uh-oh. Gwangi's escaping. With all that trouble of roping him, he just bites the ropes off. Dino Rumble. They're going to do a thing here with this that kind of gets repeated in Golden Voyage of Sinbad and Sinbad the Eye of the Tiger, where people interfere with the fight between the good monster and the bad monster. Obviously, the Styracosaurus is like the I'm doing the quotes, the good monster, and Wandy is the bad one, isn't it? And man intervenes and makes it so that the bad monster wins. Because look, the Styracosaurus is getting the upper hand. Look, I think it might be Carlos that tips the balance. Look, there's blood and stuff. Yeah, it is. Look. Oh, Carlos' stunt man. Is it Yakima Canuck? Is that his name? I've forgotten. I know I've mentioned him in another thing. But because of that, the poor Styracosaurus is going to lose and get eaten. By the way, you can get the music for this. You can get it on Amazon. Amazon Music. You can download, you buy it on Amazon Music, which I did. I got the album or some tracks off it. You can buy the full album or individual tracks, which I did because I think it's a cool. Oh, look at it eating the bug. While it's still alive. Look, and it's breathing. You see, it's breathing. Look, did it with a bladder inside and animated the bladder, which he also did in other films, which I'm blanking on. He does it with the elephant at the end as well, and he also does it in 1,000,000 years BC. Well, Carlos has caught for it now. I feel sorry for Carlos. Although I wish he hadn't been him that stabbed the Styracosaurus. But anyway. Poor Carlos. That's the end of him. Just his horse has escaped. I will call it Magpie in honour of my horse in Red Dead Redemption. But Gwangi's going to chase him, much like King. It's basically King Kong is this film, isn't it? Much like King Kong chases our heroes in that film. The original King Kong I'm talking about, not the Peter Jackson one. Oh, we get another dodgy effect here where it's not animated at all. It's just a model of Gwangi that they just push down a slight slope. There we go. Oh dear. It's fine. It's fine. And to make it look as though it's breathing, they just like give it a little. They've probably got a stick or something, just prodding it, make it look as though it's look. Oh, that look, it's breathing. Except it's not. They're just rocking it from side to side. I know I'm having a go, but for all we know, it was a pickup shot, and they did it afterwards. And maybe Ray Harryhausen wasn't available, and thought it's the best we can do. We'll film some extras in front of a green screen, blue screen, whatever. But look, a big Gwangi head. For some reason, I don't know why, it reminds me of Gargo. It just does. Poor Gwangi. See, champs seeing dollar signs now. Where's Carlos? He could be fine for all we know. Didn't see him die, did we? He could be fine. He'd have been in Gwangi 2, Electric Boogaloo. When did they build that? Don't know, but they're amazing woodsmiths or whatever. I don't know. They built a big cart to put Gwangi in out of something. I don't see many trees. Bushes and stuff, plenty of those, but not to make that big wooden. But whatever. Don't overthink it, Steve. It's an amazing film. That's had to use a real Allosaurus for that shot. One of the few shots actually where you can see the join, can't you? There down on the edge of the between, I think it's Champ and the cart, wagon, whatever you want to call it. There's like a line, isn't there? Where the wood disappears. So you can't see it now. I'm not showing it now, so never mind. Ignore me. Did they set off walking, earlier on? That 3 days before they've just got here. Me bones cracking. Just got up out my chair. I say he's just an animal, and all said and done. Anyway, I feel sorry for Gwangi, by the way, at the end of this film. You'll see why. If you've not seen it before, I'm presuming you've seen it before. I should hope so. But anyway. Here we go. Look, Gwangi, this is the Kong, 8th wonder of the world bit, isn't it? Look, we're ready now. Passage of time. I don't know how much time has passed, but enough time for them to have a big balloon with Gwangi on the side of it, and they built a big cage for him and all that stuff. But they're still in the same town, I think. Yes, I think. Anyway, whatever. Does that band go with them wherever they go? Is that part of the Wild West show, or does that belong to the arena? I have no idea. But anyway. Apparently, Gwangi is a Native American word. I don't know which part of Native America, but it means lizard. Apparently, that's in the trivia. It's not cheap. We're selling the tickets for $10 a pop. Oh no, I was thinking, thinking about whether overdubbed Hela Golan. I was actually thinking of. I've forgotten her name now. She overdubbed a few actresses for James Bond films. Um, Sylvia, not Sylvia Trench, because that was the name of the character. Something else. I can't remember. I'm probably wrong. She overdubbed Ursula Andress. That's all I'm thinking of. I don't think it is her, but anyway. It might be. I don't know. I'm waffling again. Anyway, as we can see here, they're falling out again because she wants to go on a world tour with Gwangi, but he wants to sell up and get the ranch in Montana or whatever, where he can get a round American wife who will cook rabbits for him, and he will have a recreational vehicle. That's from Hunt for Red October. Now Lopi is going to intervene because Lopi was there all the time in the corner of the room, being awkward. There he is. Look. So just like Lopi made Tuck go and help TJ, now he's telling TJ to go after Tuck. And he's going to come running out. But meanwhile, Tears Arena and the Dwarf are up to no good. Ladies and gentlemen. In a minute. Don't go, Tuck. Ah, she's gonna sell up and move to Montana with him or wherever. Here he is. Look. Look. Are they the Grenadier Guards? What the hell is that on that thing? Like a dead body? I don't know anymore. I always remember that advert I saw for the film when I was a kid. Remember I heard that good Gwangi. I always remember it showed that bit with the dwarf staring up at him. I don't think it actually showed Gwangi in that part, but that kind of freaked me out as a kid. I don't know why. Maybe I had a thing. Dwarves scared me when I was a kid. Of course, I remember the Private Lives of Sherlock Holmes. That had dwarves in it as well, and that freaked me out as a kid. Oh, dear. I were fine with the Wizard of Oz. And there's a stop motion elephant. Don't know whether they didn't use a real one. It doesn't even sound like an elephant, does it? God knows what sound effect they're using. But anyway. I mean, why they didn't use a real elephant is because they're going to have the elephant and Gwangi fighting in a minute, which is cool. Again, King Kong. But look, he's undoing the gate or whatever, the door to the cage. Uh-oh. Scream. If I heard a scream coming from in there, I wouldn't raise the curtain. But that's exactly what they do, because they're dope. View as Gwangi eats a dwarf alive. The crowd cheer because they probably think it's part of the show. Don't worry, it's all part of the show. He's a stunt man. It's fine. See, look. I said lower the thing. Why are you lowering the thing? We don't know because it's a balloon and we don't know how to get it back down again. But, Lawrence Naismith's going to cop for it now. Which is kind of harking back to Seventh Voyage of Sinbad in a minute. What happened with Sakura? He got squashed, didn't he? Not by a big gate, by a dragon. You would think just in case they would have lots of people with guns that don't have blanks in. Because remember they went to the Forbidden Valley, the bullets they put in the guns there had blanks in from the show. But you think just in case they'd have actual proper, live ammo there, just in case. So they could blow Gwangi away, but they don't. We've got to see panicked Mexicans. Here we go, he's going to cut for it now. And splat. Oh, sod it. Go for it, elephant. Wonder what they've been feeding Gwangi while they've had him in that cage. Steaks, I suppose. Poor elephant. As you may guess, the elephant doesn't do well in this confrontation. Oh, tripped him up, look. Tripped up the elephant. Got his neck. Got his neck as a lion. Poor elephant's going down, look. I think they used the bladder again to show the elephant breathing. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see in a minute. Yes, look. You can see the bladder. The elephant's not dead, look. Maybe it'll get better. Because it's after some nice, juicy Mexicans. Sorry, the Spaniards, technically, but for the purpose of this film, they are Mexicans. Here he comes. Look, got one in his gob. It's a smorgasbord. What the hell is a smorgasbord? I have no idea. It's one of those words that I've heard all my life and I've never bothered looking up. I always think, is it like a Swedish buffet? I have no idea. I don't know. I'd look it up, but I can't be bothered. I just want the mystery to remain. They've got some guns now, presumably without blanks. Let's head to the church, except the door, because they all go running out the other side. What's the church? Let's have a look. The church is the Cathedral, Catedral de la... I can't say it. Catedral de la Encarnación de Almería, in Almería, Spain. That's where the cathedral is. The bull ring, scenes in the bull ring, is the Plaza de Toros, which is Spanish for bull, de Almería, in Almería, in Andalusia, in Spain. So there we go. I'm guessing this is a real town. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look up. I'm guessing there's Almeria. I'm gonna Google Earth Almeria and see if it still looks like this. I suspect it might not, but I'm intrigued. Arr. I'll just throw it. That might have done more than a bullet at, you know, supersonic speeds. Oh me! Oh, I hope that horse hasn't got grazed knees or whatever, elbows. I don't know what have they got on the front legs, whatever. I'll just run straight past Gwangi. Look, is it? Is that him? Yes, is he? Look. Get in there, boy! Again, no, that's it. It's King Kong in it, so homage to the big doors, the big gate, or whatever in King Kong. Look, Gwangi's just gonna get into the cathedral. This is a classic scene, is this, by the way? Super atmospheric, amazing scene. I think this is one of Ray Harryhausen's most underrated films. I genuinely do. It's one of my favourites. I genuinely have had nightmares where at least twice, I think, where not in the cathedral, but where I've been like hiding from a dinosaur, a T Rex or whatever, in the town. So I'm guessing that comes from this film. It must be a latent fear I have, but I've dreamt it. Look, we'll run to a place where Gwangi could get us. He's running about. Just stay where you are. Stay out of here as far back as possible. Not rocket science. That's it. Smash a chair over his back. So you don't need big, massive, CG extravaganza scenes with armies going up against kaijus. Just one man with a spear and a pipe organ going up against a monster. Although it's not a monster, it's just an animal. But, I feel dead sorry for Gwangi. Right in his lug oil. His meatus. Sorry if my mate watches this, which he won't. But he's laughing now because I said meatus. Oh dear. Right, he's going to burn the place down now in a minute. Is it this where he chucks the fire? Yes, it is. Poor Gwangi. Obviously, highly flammable cathedral. I mean, how did that fire spread so quickly on a stone floor? Look, but you're not helping yourself, Gwangi. You're knocking over and burning other flammable materials. Poor Gwangi, I feel dead sorry for him. He's basically burning to death. I mean, agony. This is as I said, a self homage, isn't it, to one of Ray Harryhausen's early films, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, because that creature, the Redosaurus in that, burned to death, didn't it, at Coney Island, the roller coaster that they burnt down. Leave the door open just in case, because you might escape, for all you know, but no. I'm just letting oxygen in to feed the flames. Well, we killed him, but it just meant we just burnt down our cathedral. I'm sure God won't mind. Poor Gwangi. You hear him screaming, looking agony. Thankfully, it ends soon because it all collapses on top of him and that shuts him up. Look, he's still. Oh, there we go. He's still screaming. You can still hear him roaring and screaming. But, and now he's dead. Poor Gwangi. Much says in poor King Kong. Poor Ymir from 20 Million Miles to Earth. I'm trying to think of any others. Creatures that were, taken out of their native habitat. See? Lopi knows he's crying. Are they real tears or is it that gel stuff that they put on? In that days, it's probably owned by the studio. They probably just rubbed onions in his eyes. Anyway. Right. So, is that a happy ending? I don't know. Not for me, it's not. I feel really sorry for Gwangi. The end. We do get credits where we see people in it, which is nice. There we go. Tuck, James Franciscus, riding his horse. And Gila Golan as T.J. Breckenridge, smiling at camera. Richard Carlson as Champ. Lawrence Naismith as Professor Bromley. Tears Arena, Frida Jackson, Gustavo Rojo, Carlos. Feel sorry for him as well. Oh, there we go. Dennis Cabin as Rowdy. The other one has been. And Lopi as Curtis Harden. I thought it said introducing Lopi. And Gwangi. At least Gwangi gets a credit. Look, yeah. So I'm sure he's fine. It was a stunt Gwangi. So there we go. That's the end of Valley of Gwangi. One of my favourite films of all time. I've seen it loads of times. I think it's amazing. So there we go. So go and watch it now on Blu-ray or DVD or on Amazon Prime or whatever. Go and watch it. It is really, really good. Watch it without me waffling and talking over it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. Although I do feel sorry for Gwangi. But right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, thumbs up. I'll see thee. Yorkshire, with stories to unfold.